Hello, hello, mic check. Is the mic working now? Okay, there we go. Now it's working. For whatever reason, it wasn't working. So, all right. How's everyone doing today? Hope everyone's having a good weekend. Alrighty. Hello. Alrighty. Hey, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good weekend today. I am mostly set up for stream. I just need to move a few things real quick. All right. I am, what's the word I'm looking for? Getting ready for the craft fair, so I'm trying to varnish all the paintings that I have forgotten to varnish or never got around to varnishing, so on. So just varnish this one. It's all shiny. Yep. So, and all the paintings back here, I've been varnishing. So just trying to get through them all quickly. But I have to let them dry enough, and got to be careful when stacking them so that they don't stick, you don't mess up the varnish, and so on. That says, "Hey, you're running out of space." I am running out of space. I've run out of space. They're starting to layer. That's why I'm hoping I'll sell a bunch at the craft fair, or not craft fair, art fair. I don't think I will because it's a 1 day event. You know, but I would like to because I am definitely running out of space. It's an issue. I did sell one painting recently, uh, so it's I I sell some paintings here and there. It's just not fast enough. I've been producing them way longer and way faster. How you doing, Des? Um, all right. Now, before I can start today, I need to put my, um, I call them crosshairs. It's not really accurate, but the center lines. It's so much easier to put the center lines on when it lays flat than it is trying to put it on what's it called, on the easel. Hey, Dresden, little boy. All right, we got a Dresden. He wants to say hi. Dresden! Oh, baby boy! Meow. Oh, okay. Hi, little boy. Yeah, thank you. This is doing okay, preparing to do the guy with the dog in the semi-Van Gogh style, but without the dog. Oh, okay. Des is talking about the charity thing project she's working on. So anyone who's like, what is she talking about? That's what she's talking about. In fact, I'm actually going to be doing a portrait for it too, which is what I'm setting up right now. Actually, I just forgot to grab all of the oh, what's it called? All of the other information. So I can't put any links or anything because I totally forgot, but I can put it in after the fact. But yeah. Alrighty. I might need to trim my uh Photoshop file. Maybe not. Yeah, I'm just doing the what's it called? The middle lines. I just like to have them. It's like using the grid system, but very loose grid. You know, but it is helpful. All right. Jason, so silly. All right, let me just fix this real quick. The camera needs to be adjusted. No, zoom out. All right, there we go. Uh, Mute. So you don't hear me. Alrighty, let me just fix the camera real quick. I see it's a little off. Mm, Trying to remember, 9 by 12 is the same what's it called? Proportion as 12 by 16, right? 9 by 12, 12 by 16. Is it? Let's see. Um, I'm going to be lazy and use Photoshop. Yes, it is. Okay, that's what I thought. Trying to, these controls are so silly. You would think that, with the way that like, our technology is at this point, you'd think that like, you know, s trying to warp something in perspective wouldn't be ridiculous, but the controls are so bad. Oh, come on. Just start working already. Okay, there we go. It's not perfect, but it's close enough. Anyways, yeah, it's gonna have to do. So yeah, I'm preparing for the craft fair. What just happened? Um yeah, I'm preparing for the craft fair. I'm building a frame and I'm recording it so I can make a video showing how I build my frames, and also so that I have a framed painting for the craft fair. I keep saying craft fair, art fair, so I can show, you know, what it'd look like framed if anyone wanted to buy it, and if anyone wanted to buy it framed, they could, or they could pay extra to have me frame it for them, that type of thing. Hey, hey, Cassandra, yay fair, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Um, well, I'm looking forward to parts of it. I'm really not looking forward to the like 8 a.m. setup time, but what can you do? That's that's just the way it is sometimes. What can I say? Where are my gloves? I'm just getting my what's the word I'm looking for? Palette out. Yeah. Also, now that I think about it, I should probably have my commissions worked out for the art fair, because someone might want to commission me uh for a commission, so should probably have my prices somewhat worked out for that. The heat too. Oh yeah, no, that's true. The heat on Saturday is going to be a nightmare. Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually thinking we have a big cooler, ice chest type of thing. I'm thinking about filling that with ice and, drinks and bringing that. I think that might be a good idea. Hi, Dresden. Little boy, you can go over there. All right. Take a Mr. Fan with you. Um, don't know if that's a good idea. I recognize that it'd probably be cool. I just don't know if I want to spray mist on my paintings, you know? All right, Dresden wants more attention, so. Well, yes, I know it goes on me, but it'll probably go on my paintings too. Anytime he licks around my nose or mouth or anything, I I like put my lips in because I don't want to be one of those people who like lets their dog or cat lick their lips and stuff. So like, yeah, he licks my nose and he licks my beard, but I'm always like puckering in, so I'm not one of those people. Interesting. Yeah, just a spray bottle on your face, LOL. Yeah. I mean, honestly, if I bring the cooler with ice, that might be the best idea. Put a spray bottle in the cooler and then just pull it out and like squirt, squirt. Could be a mister, spray bottle type of thing. Doesn't have to be like direct spray, it could be like, you know, yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, that might be a good idea. Need to order everything. What was it? I ordered a bunch of hooks. They should be arriving uh tomorrow. We'll see if they work or not. Okay, that's what you meant, Des. Okay, cool. Cassandra says could also bring a bandana and dip it into the cooler. Um, yeah, I guess I could do that. Um, I've never worn a bandana before, but I guess, yeah, an option. On your neck, the bandana, yeah. Des gets it clearly. See, the problem is I don't have a ton of like what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? I don't have a ton of uh like not techniques, but, tricks and stuff like that to deal with like really bad sun and weather, like in hot weather. Um, because I just avoid it so much. So, I just like I will, also I lather up with like sunscreen and I do have one of those like fishing hats. Um, but I don't really want to wear it there. I have one of those for when I go plein air painting, and it's really good. It's very useful. I look ridiculous, but who cares? Generally, who cares? But here I kind of care because I don't want to look ridiculous. the whole time I'm, um, trying to sell. All right. I'm getting my brushes out. Just gonna clean them real quick. Ah, everything's sliding. Uh, Sandra says I'm on meds that make me and Heat not friends. I hear you. Heat and I have never been friends, but more than Heat, it's the sun. The sun and I have never been on good terms. So I burn way too easily, and even if I don't burn, I find it extremely unpleasant. I get all itchy everywhere. Like I hate it. So yeah, not for me. I what's it called? I actually just bought sunscreen. It was on sale at HEB. SPF 100. Does says my grandmother swore to run cold water over your wrists will help cool the blood. Not sure about that, but it seems effective. Actually, they've done studies that your palms, how hot or cold your palms are, can drastically affect how you feel and deal with heat. Like if you're in a very hot environment and you cool down just your palms, that will let you like not feel the heat as much. And in case you're wondering, like who's studying that or what, the military. They're trying to figure out ways of making their soldiers function, at peak performance in the heat and in tough environments and so on. So I get to try out my new miracle medium today. I found a little container and I can use it. It has a little smell to it, but it's not horrible at all. By the way, whoever is curious, the miracle medium is solvent-free, plant-based. It says odorless, but it has a bit of a scent. Very, very little, but does. And it is non-toxic. So trying it out. We'll see how it goes. Um, Cassandra says I used to have one of those little UV stickers that helped you know if you needed to reapply sunscreen. You put sunscreen over it, and if the dot turns purple, you knew it was time for more sunscreen. I've never heard of that. That's cool. Well, I'll have to see if they, sell them. Maybe I can buy one before the thing. We'll see. That's a cool idea. I I don't chance it. I just reapply multiple times when I'm out in the sun. Oh yeah, I forgot I need to clean my palette off. I know I need to clean this up. Sandra says reasonable. Yeah, so here's the thing, okay? I've had sunburns multiple times in my life. I'm assuming a lot of people have. But one time it was really, really bad. And so I am extra paranoid about it. I did get sunburn bad since then, but it was almost always under odd circumstances. For instance, I went, I once went surfing and I took like surfing lessons, which was a lot of fun, by the way. I really enjoyed that. And I did put on sunscreen and I wasn't out there for that long, but I guess um, the the conditions of surfing and the board and it and the water, the salt water and all the sand and all of that, I guess rubs the sunscreen off faster because even though I wasn't out there that long, I got burnt. So, you know, which just contributed to me putting more sunscreen on and reapplying faster and sooner and so on. Alrighty. That says I've blistered really bad in the past, could hardly wear clothes, even walked into a pharmacy. The perfume department is at the door, set my skin on fire, was so bad. Yeah. I I literally laid in bed for a couple of days one time when my back was burnt so bad. And it was like elementary school or something. So I remember it. So yeah. Alrighty. Let me just get a sip of my drink real quick. Sandra says, "Do you still have frame filming to do?" Yeah, a little bit. I have one frame. I have one frame to finish, and I have just a little bit left to do on it. I ended up actually building two frames, um, and but one of them is for the show, and one of them is for something else. And I messed up with my calculation. So I'm so stupid sometimes. Um, I built a frame, and the frame I built is a 20 by 16, or it's to fit a 20 by 16 painting. And I was like, I didn't have a painting in mind. I just thought I'll figure it out, you know, I'll pick from one of the paintings I have, right? Like it's not a big deal. But here's the thing. I got my math wrong. I have a lot of paintings that are 12 by 16, which is what I the type of frame I actually wanted to build. Um, I only have a few 20 by 16 paintings. Uh, so I have far few options now, uh, which means most likely it's actually going to be this one right here, the self-portrait of me. because that's the most likely one I will bring with me. But yeah, I was so I did the math wrong, and I don't know, my brain just whatever glitched out on me. Welp, LOL. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Nothing I can do about that. You know, if I have extra time, I can in theory build another frame without filming it. Because if I have the tools and I just build a frame, I can build them pretty fast. Um, yeah, we'll see. Probably not though. I probably won't bother doing that. All right. Let's get started here on the painting. I can still talk, obviously, while I do that. Yeah. But just have very little left to finish. Um, so uh that's good. It'll be done in soon. And it's not the worst thing in the world because the self-portrait kind of will act a little bit as a like what's it called? It's not exactly a banner, but it kind of will function a little bit like a banner because it is a painting that I use a lot of times for a lot of different things. So, you know, they'll have that aspect to it a little bit. All right, so today I'm just going to start off with sketching a little because I just felt like it. Oh no. I think because it's a white canvas, partially. I went with a dark, like black blue color, gray, I guess, dark because of the background color. But as soon as I start getting into the like face, I'm gonna switch to a different color for my sketching because I don't want to have to fight the black color um, as I'm trying to, um, you know, as I'm trying to paint. Not that I think it'll be a big deal if I do have to, because, you know, I'm a kind of a messy painter, so it's all good. And messy by design for anyone who's like questioning that. I try to get all those happy little accidents in, you know? Quinacridone rose is such a nice, well, first of all, it's such a pretty color, but it's also such a good sketching color most of the time. It's like transparent, it blends well with things. It's cool enough that it can lean cool, it's warm enough that it can lean warm when you start, actually painting. I think I forgot to ask, but Cassandra, how are you doing today? If I ever forget, it's unintentional. I know you don't care that much, but just in general to anyone, for anyone who's like questioning why I might ask how certain people are doing and others, it's just I am streaming and lose track of things sometimes. All right, nothing terribly exciting. Okay. Are you going to be swinging by later? Uh, I know, I want to use names in case you don't want me to use names, so I'm not going to. But yeah, Jay's stopping by later, so possibly stopping by later, I should say. I wasn't sure if you were going to come by as well. Okay, no, no worries. Alrighty. Well, that's a good start, I think. I could already start doing my like comparison of, you know, placement, but I'm gonna mess all this up so much. It's not worth it. Um, Sandra says, I meant to ask, do you want to borrow my Osmo Pocket for filming, either for the frame or the event? I already filmed the fr most of the frame, so no, but for the event, yeah. Um, you upgraded and you're happy to lend it to me if you think it'll be useful. It might be useful for the event, absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate that. Congratulations on the upgrade, by the way. I'm curious what you upgraded to, but if you don't feel like talking about it, that's fine. Oh, thank you. All right, so I'm um gonna start with the background, just lay in some broad strokes and colors just to, you know, get something down. Start with the background because it's low stakes. Like if I mess it up a little, it does not matter. I can always just paint over it if I even need to. Like there's rarely an occasion, like with this type of background where there's nothing really in the background, so yeah, it doesn't matter that much. You upgraded to the Pocket 3. Uh, got all family to go help him get it for my birthday. Oh, happy birthday. When was your birthday? Did I miss it? I didn't know I missed your birthday. I'm sorry. But happy birthday. I'm bad at remembering birthdays. I basically rely on uh, Facebook and stuff like that to remind me, but I'm bad at keeping up on those too, so I miss a lot of birthdays. It's okay, I don't advertise it. Oh, well, first week of June. Oh, well, happy birthday. I'm terrible at remembering birthdays. Yeah, yeah, I am too. I have a terrible memory for a lot of things. So, Andrew says you have other gifts, as my old coworker would say. Yeah, fair enough. We'll go with that. Nah, I mean, I get it. It's true. It's just, I find it funny that some people, you know, uh, I have I know people who they get very upset about certain things if they're not done a certain way, or like if you forgot someone's birthday, it's a big deal, or, whatever. And, it's like, okay, but, you know, I don't know. It's just like, yeah, I get it. I understand you might feel like it's out of like not caring, but talk to the person, find out, is that actually the case, or is it just like, is that the case, or like what is going on, I feel like you have to kind of, I can understand it during under like in certain circumstances, certain things. I do get that. If someone's always late, it does kind of imply that they don't really care about your, being on time kind of thing, or your time. But I know that's not actually true, not for everybody. Some people are just really bad at time management, so they're always late. They're late to everything. Um, and so on. But yeah, remembering dates, names, there's definitely a lot of things that uh I do not have the gift for. So, oh well. You work with what you got, right? So far, this medium feels great. Um, yeah, so far. I mean, I'm just dipping my brush in it a little bit to get a little on my brush to make the paint flow a little bit better. But so far, as for that, it works really well. Some of my paint is, I wouldn't say it's setting just yet, but it's definitely not as fresh as it was out of the tube. We'll put it that way. So having something to loosen it up a little is very helpful. I do have to be careful though. Supposedly, if you use too much of it, it delays the drying time, which wouldn't be good in this instance. I need to get this done relatively quickly. Although, even if it delays the drying time by like double its normal drying time, if I get this done in time, it shouldn't be a problem. Is the Pocket 3 the same like form factor, like the stick kind of thing? I'm just curious. Yeah, it's quite a bit chunkier though. Okay. I was just curious, but the form factor has like it's cool. It has its benefits in the sense that like it has the little gimbal because of that and you know and so on. It's just interesting that it's like so different from, other like traditional looking cameras type of thing. That's all. All right. I have the Pocket One, the lenses, and the tripod mount, a little bag for you. Oh, thank you so much. That's really sweet of you. Thank you. I really need to figure out why my cell phone footage looked so weird. I don't know what that was about the last time I used it to film. It's very, very odd. Let's measure. Let's be responsible. For anyone, okay, I gotta lurk for a little bit. No worries, Cassandra. Thanks so much for lurking and thanks so much for stopping by and chatting. I appreciate it. So this person's hair is much brighter. However, putting in the dark areas first because that will act as the like, the base for the color to go on to. That way I don't have to paint like in between strands. I just have to paint like over kind of thing. So I am, for anyone who hasn't watched me before or hasn't heard me talk about this, I don't usually clean my brushes that much. Like I wipe it off on a paper towel. Sometimes if I really want to clean it, I'll like squeegee out the paint. But I don't like dip it in medium and stuff like that most of the time. Um, and most of the time it's barely an issue because my paints are so oversaturated that I don't need the full saturation, so I can be a little messy with them and it still works fine. Uh, Plasma Grapes, welcome. How are you doing today? Howdy. Do you doing okay? Just at work? All right. Uh, I'm doing all right. Thank you. I'm just working on this oil painting today. It's actually for a charity, but I forgot to copy down the charity event information, so I don't have that on hand. But yeah, I'm doing this for, it's going to be auctioned off on a charity to help a recovery, um, substance abuse recovery place. But yeah, just trying to get, just starting on it. Have a bit of a deadline, so just trying to kind of get through it. No worries, Des. Yeah, Des is the one who he's also working for the same charity, and he's the person that got me connected with it. So yeah. Are you an artist? I ask because a lot of people who come in here are artists. However, uh, all are welcome here. In case you're wondering, these are oil paints. I pretty much only do oil paints on my Twitch and YouTube channel. However, I do have a background in a lot more than just that. But I used to be all digital for years, and I still, work digitally sometimes for certain jobs. But my YouTube is definitely and Twitch dedicated um, to my oil paints and my oil paintings. Although I'm sure at some point I'll do some other stuff, just for the fun of it. It's been a long time since I've painted with gouache, now that I think about it. I also could do a review of like golden open acrylics. That might be a good video to do. I think that's a little too dark. That's going to need some fixing, that's for sure. But oh well. I usually avoid painting in the eyes in the beginning. It seems so pointless to me at this point to put the eyes in, um, which I know is contrary to what a lot of people do. But yeah, I feel like if I get the whole painting correct, if I do the whole painting and everything gets I get everything pretty accurate, and all I have left is the eyes and the placement is right, then I trust myself to get the eyes right as long as the placement is right. The placement is so important, and getting in all the details so early is pointless if I'm not going to get the placement correct. So I worry about it. I leave it till the much later in the painting. Des says, yep, I don't put them in until I know they're in the right place. But even then, sometimes have to adjust. Oh yeah, I almost always have to adjust because I because my painting technique is so messy. A lot of times what happens is that regardless of if I put them, even if I put them in perfectly in the right place, what happens is as I'm painting, uh, I go over the edge a little, and so everything starts to drift a little. And sometimes it's, like I sometimes it drifts a lot, but sometimes it's like a millimeter, and when the paintings are small, a millimeter is enough to make it, in the wrong place. When the paintings are small. When they're larger, a millimeter starts to be a little less important. But yeah, my edges, I'm so messy, my edges get all messed up halfway through, or not halfway, all the time. So I constantly have to check and recheck everything's in the right place. I mean, right now I don't even know if things are in the right place, so I'm even less careful because it's like I don't even know if it's in the right place, so why be overly cautious? That says he's got a unique face. You have the likeness already based on the shape of his face. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think so. I'll mess it up, I'm sure, and then get it back. Like I said, that almost always happens in my paintings. Like the likeness kind of fades in and out. But, you know, at this point, I'm not like overly concerned about it because I've done so many portraits. I know I can eventually I can bring it back. So if I know I'm going to be able to bring it back at some point, I don't have to really like worry about it. Not to say that it's always easy to bring it back, right? Like I'm not trying to be like, it's nothing. No, sometimes it's hard, but I trust that I'll be able to bring it back. And that's the difference between like one of the differences between how I approach paintings now and how I used to approach them, where I didn't have that confidence. I'm just going to fill in some areas and then I'll check my all my proportions and everything. I'm debating if I want to, use the brayer or not. only real concern I have with using the brayer is it's more just an issue of speed. Like, will using the brayer make things take longer or not? That's the concern. Or that's the consideration that I'm, trying to like think about. We'll see. If I have a lot of things out of place, maybe, but otherwise, I might just skip it today. Because as much as I love the effects that I get with the brayer, um, it can make things take a little longer. And honestly, I've also been, not saying that I've stopped using the brayer, but I've been using it a little less because of different techniques that I've been kind of practicing and experimenting with. All right, let's give my camera a rest. Poor camera is wetting up here. So give that a quick rest while I stretch. Oh. All right. So my go-to technique for this is just to upload the photo into my into Photoshop, and then I can overlay the two, my reference and my photo, and see what adjustments I need to make. All right. So I know I'm off screen. Yeah, I haven't figured out a way. Well, I haven't put in the effort to make it so that I can, you know, do this on screen. If I'm being honest. But it's just the basic like distort and overlay. All right, let's see. All right, it's close. It's not, it's not perfect, which is to be expected. But yeah. All right, Des. No worries. All righty. So things are pretty close. There's a few things off, a little out of place, but honestly, very minimal. That's pretty good. I like using this technique because I feel like over time, generally, there are, off days, of course, but generally my accuracy has gotten better because I can kind of see where I'm off and kind of trying to evaluate like why, what was, what was I looking at and why am I off? Okay. Let me zoom in a little more here, make it easier for me. Alrighty. The main thing was that I got like really off is the hat, the brim of the hat. And I struggle with like the brim of a hat. I always struggle with them. They're so weird and how they move through space and everything. and like how they fit, how hats fit on heads is so weird. In theory, it makes total sense, but in practice, when you apply the theory, it often looks completely wrong because a lot of times it's because the hair and everything, and so it ends up being just a little off, and it messes with me. Hey Don Lee, welcome. How you doing today? Hey man, sorry I missed your stream on Thursday. I wanted to come check it out, but ooh, Thursday ended up being a crazy day for me. Donley says I agree hats are weird to draw. Yeah, they really are. No worries. No, I like to support my friends, you know? So we'll see what happens. I'll share a little bit, but Thursday I ended up shooting and editing a short video, uh, trying basically applying for a video editing job. So we'll see what happens with that. I haven't heard back yet, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd be, celebrating or sad. But either way, but yeah, just waiting right now. It ended up only being like a 3-minute video, which I realize is not a lot, but I actually filmed myself and did all these edits and everything. So it ended up being a lot of work. Oh wow, video editing job. Good luck. Yeah, thanks. It's for a YouTube channel, so it would be a it's not like a crazy good paying job, but it would be a really good job to get. It's not bad paying. It's just yeah. What program would you end up using? I use DaVinci Resolve at the moment. If they wanted me to use something else, they might have to pay for that or something. But yeah, like I could use Premiere Pro. I've used Premiere in the past. I started off in Premiere because I used to have the um, what's it called? The Adobe Creative Cloud. But then, I, I I dropped the Creative Cloud to only Photoshop because it's too expensive. Even just Photoshop is too expensive, but whatever. What you're gonna do right now. I know there are alternatives. I have my reasons for not using the alternatives. I do recommend the alternatives. I do not want to get into that right now. But yeah, so I could use Premiere Pro in theory. I'd have to I didn't I'm not like an expert in any of them. I can manage obviously, but I'm not like an expert. But I can learn it pretty fast, I'm sure. You downloaded DaVinci Resolve but haven't used it yet. DaVinci is great. I did have some recent issues with it. That was because of my like graphics card and stuff. That's just some technical stuff that I don't, this is the first time I've ever had any issues with it. Um, but DaVinci is really, it's a good program. I mean, it's hard for me to say like, compare it to like Premiere Pro necessarily because I don't, I abandoned Premiere pretty early on. They seem pretty similar. Premiere was very unstable for me when I was using it originally. Uh, and DaVinci Resolve was overall much more stable. up until recently, and now that I stopped using like two features, it's back to being stable. So I think it's just those two particular features cause big problems for me. And I can manage without them. Like there's alternatives. So yeah. And I'm not saying DaVinci is the best program. I don't know what the best program is, but you know, whatever. Does DaVinci Resolve have settings for vertical mobile video style output? It does. It was one of the updates in one of the recent updates, and it does. Absolutely. It always it always had the ability to do vertical, but now it will, instead of showing you the vertical within a horizontal one, which is how it used to do it, which it would output it perfectly fine. It was just the display of it. Now it does it perfectly. It has like its own vertical box, you know, kind of thing. But yeah, it always could output it. It just now, like I said, it has its own box kind of thing. There are some things that are a bit unintuitive in DaVinci, for sure. Like the thing that I think is kind of a little unintuitive in DaVinci is the way that they're like the you know it's called, what is it? Not Fairlight. Oh, they have the different tabs. Fusion, their Fusion stuff. So Fusion is kind of like their After Effects. It's probably not as robust as After Effects on its own, but I don't know. But Fusion is their like effects tab, and it lets you do all the like visual, you know, all the special effects and everything. And their system, I would say that system is a little less intuitive than like, you know, After Effects maybe. And I'm not sure because I haven't used After Effects enough to truly say if it's intuitive or not. But like, it doesn't work with layers the way, like I've tried to do stuff in After Effects and it works kind of with layers and stuff like that, which is kind of the language of Photoshop to me. And Fusion and DaVinci Resolve, it works with nodes. It's like, you know, computer stuff like parameters and nodes and all this, you know, all this stuff, which to me is kind of unintuitive. But it's not that bad. And luckily, there's also like a ton of videos online. So if there's anything you want to do, just look it up. You know, you can find, it's so easy to find, almost always. It's very easy to find a video that shows you exactly how to do what it is you're looking to do. I'm sure it's like that with After Effects too. Yeah. Only says prior I was using iMac Movie Maker, which is very capable and intuitive program. Certainly not as versatile as DaVinci, I imagine. See, I don't know, and I don't have any thoughts on it. I've never used it. If it's capable and it works, there's no need to like move over to DaVinci really, unless you're looking to learn more programs so that you can get, you know, jobs kind of thing. One of the features it doesn't have is vertical mobile video. Uh, can't you just tell it to make the like what's it called? Can't you just tell it to make the, you know, the proportions the ones you want? Is that I would I'm surprised you can't just, tell it that the canvas is, whatever you want it to be kind of thing, right? Like seems like you should be able to do that. But yeah, honestly, if you I was going to say you could do all of it in iMovies and then just kick it over to DaVinci to chop it vertically, but um Conley says unfortunately you can't control the video format in that way. That's weird. Yeah. So yeah, that sucks. But yeah, I don't know. DaVinci is cool. I think it's good. It's free, and a lot of the things that you want to do, you can do in the free version. I I bought the paid version when it was on sale a while ago, but it's not a necessity by any stretch of the imagination. I was like, it's on sale. There's some features that I was like, I thought I really wanted. Turns out I don't use them as much as I thought I would. Isn't that always the way? But yeah. Yeah, if you give it a shot and you need help, feel free to, message me if you need help with something. Space Exalt Ex Axolotl says hello, welcome. First time chatter, welcome. How are you doing today? Donnelly says your painting is looking good. Any theme to today's painting? I noticed some cool tones. So today is it is actually a painting. I'm working with Des on this one in the sense that this is for the charity the charity event working, she is working for, the charity project. So that's what this is for. Uh, Space Ac Space Axolotl, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but welcome, and I'm doing good. Glad you're doing good. I'm doing all right today. I'm just trying to get this painting going. I have to get it done somewhat fast because there's a bit of a deadline for the event. This is for a charity event, and what they do is they auction off the paintings to raise money for a substance abuse treatment center. And the paintings are paintings of the people that are there for treatment and the workers. And you don't know which are which I think is really good because that way it's like, it humanizes the people because people are sometimes kind of not the nicest to people who have substance abuse issues, which I can understand in certain circumstances. I get it. But they're people, and as long as, they haven't done anything horrible to other people, they're people who need help. So I like that. Uh, It's all good. Just call me Space. That's fair. Space is a lot easier. But uh, the painting is looking cool. Okay, I think it. Uh, I do not have. I do not have a lot of the things set up. If you're trying to do like all the Twitch, like call outs and stuff like that, I don't have any of that stuff set up properly. And in fact, I can't even see if you followed me, and I apologize if you follow me now. I would say thank you, but I won't get the notification. I'll get it later because I have too much stuff going on. Yeah, that does not work. This does. I don't remember how to set it up. I'm sorry. I don't remember how to do any of this stuff, and I don't have the time to look it up. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't have any of the commands or anything set up. I'm a bad streamer. All right. Thanks. Thank you, Des. I appreciate it. Space, are you an artist, by the way? I ask because, this type of content attracts more artists. However, non-artists are also welcome here. You know, of course. And I also encourage everyone to make art, even if they don't consider themselves artists, because I feel like making art is such a human thing to do, and it's so good for people that I always encourage people to make art, regardless of how they self-identify around that subject. They says I draw every now and then when I have time. That's great. What kind of stuff do you like to draw? Anything in particular or just anything that comes up? Des says I got four of the portraits done already and doing a fifth. Yeah, you're blasting through them, Des. But then you have to, you got a bunch to do. And I have full confidence in you, by the way. Like I definitely have full confidence in your ability to get them done. Space says dragons mainly or just little creatures. That's cool. That's awesome. I used to do mostly like superhero stuff because I was into comic books. I worked in indie comics for a while, and my goal was to be a penciler. Um, so I used to do a ton of like superhero related stuff. That says, well, I'm confident in myself, not necessarily confident in the others who have taken on the project. I know you don't mean me. That says, not you. I know, Des. Space, you should check out, I think she still streams. It's been a while, since I haven't been on Twitch as much as I used to be, but, oh, what is her name now? Something Pretty, I think that's her screen name, her username. She does a lot of dragons, related stuff. And Catbox does a lot of like random creatures and stuff too. So Something Pretty is dragons, and Catbox does all kinds of creatures. There's a ton of other artists, but those two do like traditional stuff as well. And yeah, and also like Something Pretty doesn't do like the like Magic the Gathering dragons necessarily. Like they're just a little different. It's not like you know, the same thing that it, not that I don't want to talk bad about people. The artists who do magic are amazing artists. It's more a matter of them having a style that reminds me of, they all kind of remind me of each other in a way. Like, uh, it's just a style. Oh, hey, thanks, Don Lee. And check out Don Lee too, by the way. Don Lee is also an artist and he streams on Twitch and he does do some monsters. He did King Kong and Godzilla and stuff. I don't think I don't Don Lee, you can correct me if have you ever painted a dragon? I don't remember you painting a dragon unless you count Godzilla. But yeah, Don Lee's a lot of fun. His streams are a lot of fun. Donley asks, do the people in the portraits have something to do with the charity? So the people, yeah, they do. So they are either patients or staff at the treatment center. And it doesn't tell you, oh, Des is answering. The subjects are either clients of the organization, homeless, or addicts. Okay, so homeless too. Sorry, I didn't get that right. Homeless or addicts who need a safe place or seeking mental health help, or they're people who work and volunteer there. Right. So it's either the people who work there or people who are getting treatment. And um, yeah, and it doesn't tell you which, what they are. So they're just people, right? And they auction it off. They auction off the portraits to raise money. All right. And Space says, sorry, my Wi-Fi is being terrible. I no worries. Donley says, I don't think I have painted a dragon. Maybe I should give it a shot sometime. Yeah, dragons are tough to paint and draw, honestly, because they have a very strange um, physiology. It doesn't it doesn't make sense, right? Unless you go with unless you do the dragons where their front legs are the wings, that makes a little more sense. Um, you know, that logically kind of makes a little more sense, but it's still not perfect. Spaces, I absolutely love drawing dragons, especially Chinese dragons. They're fun to do. Yeah, Chinese dragons they're so interesting. I'll be honest, like dragons in general, I don't know how much I would enjoy painting or drawing them just because there's so much detail in them. And I would get tired of the repetition and the detail personally. Because the detail is essentially like a pattern, right? The scales and everything. That aspect doesn't appeal to me. But that's the main aspect that like I find unappealing about painting or drawing dragons. And only talking about the process of doing it, not like the final result, of course. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. But everyone's different. Some people love some people love spending the time and doing all that detail and the repetition and the patterns. Personally, I don't like doing that. That's why, let me stop my recording for a second. Need my camera to chill out for a second. It'll overheat if I don't. But yeah, I um like a lot of times when I'm doing a painting of someone and they have a patterned shirt, if it's if I can, I will often just kind of average out the color and I won't even do the pattern because I don't want to I just don't want to. I was going to say more, but that's the end of it. I don't want to do the pattern. But some people love that. There's a painter I follow, I can't remember her name, um, and she does really intricate like lace work, like paintings of lace, on people, but the focus is the lace usually more than the person. Um, and it's extremely, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous work, but I love looking at it. I just don't want to paint it. But yeah, I can't draw people for the life of me, Space says. And yet, yet, if that's what you want to do. One thing I think it's important to note about art, um, sometimes you have to push yourself to do things that you don't necessarily enjoy because sometimes it like helps the things that you do enjoy. For instance, I don't love painting like city scenes, but I can manage it. I'm not going to claim to be like a great landscape painter or something like that. But I can manage it enough to be in the background when I paint people who are in a city scene, right? That's what I mean. So I push myself to do something I don't love because it supports doing something I love. However, and also I shouldn't add, it makes it easier. The more you do it, sorry, my eye's really bugging me. The more you do it, the easier it gets. The easier it gets, the less aversion I have to it. But that's within reason because at some point, you know, like the reason I'm not good at doing city scenes is because I don't enjoy doing city scenes, right? So if I wanted to be if I wanted to be a plein air painter, I would, you know, I trust that I could be a really good plein air painter if I enjoyed plein air painting. I don't enjoy plein air painting. I enjoy doing it occasionally. And when I do it occasionally, I'm really bad at it because I don't do it enough. But so painting, if you want to learn to paint or draw people, I think it's great. However, if you don't have a real drive to do it, it falls into this category of like, okay, if you don't have the drive to do it, should you push yourself to do it or should you not? And it kind of depends on you and what you want to do with, art and so on. So it's great to push yourself, but it's also understandable if it's just not what you enjoy doing. Now let me see if I can catch up on the chat real quick because I put eye drops in and I couldn't see it. Now I can't read the chat either. All right. Let's see. Donnelly says, I suppose you have to pick your dragon style, noodle or barrel-chested lizard, or well, I guess with Toothless by DreamWorks, sort of a cat bat hybrid. Yeah, absolutely. Cat cat bat hybrid. Um, Space says, damn, I've never thought of drawing Toothless. Oh yeah, you should. Thanks for that idea. Yeah, absolutely. Des says, I have a cat that looks like Toothless. Nice. Yeah, I feel like I have something in my eye. It's driving me crazy. I thought the eye drops would help, but mm. Okay, I am going to go real quick and wash out my eye for a second, so be right back because yeah, be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm pretty sure I have a hair in my eye that I can't see, but I guess I'll keep trying to get it out. We'll see what happens. Probably should just leave it alone, see if it comes out on its own. My my cats, I have three cats, and uh a lot of their hairs are, nearly invisible. They're almost colorless, by themselves. Um, it's super fine. Yeah, it's it's frustrating sometimes. They do show up on stream, by the way, for anyone who's new here, who hasn't seen my cats. They do show up on stream sometimes. I would do like a cat cam or something, but they're not always here and they're not always, they move around and everything. So yeah. Family says close my YouTube chat in case anyone messages me over there. Okay, no worries. All right. Let's get a little bit of the hair color in just to start bringing in some of the, you know, some of that color in. Not going to go full, all the way yet with the color. I'm going to keep it more on the dark side, but a little of it, a little bit. Even though in theory, and if, I do everything, if I work fast enough, this painting will be a single layer, technically. So I work wet into wet. Um, So yeah, ideally, that's how it would be. Ideally, I like painting that way. But even when I'm working wet into wet, single layer, I'm still layering the colors in a way. So like for the hair, I'm doing the dark right now, and I'm layering it, and later, um, and or rather, I put the very, very dark down first. Now I'm putting a slightly lighter color on top of it, and then I'll put, an even brighter color on top of that. So even though it's all one layer, the paint is still being layered, which I think is very neat. So I'm trying to I'm constantly trying to line things up with other elements in the painting, just a way of like measuring as you go kind of thing. For anyone who isn't familiar with that, yeah, it's just like, I'm constantly like looking like, okay, the hair, ends just a little under the eyes, and then the other ones, the other thing starts, stuff like that. I think the jawline might be a little off. Eh, yeah, a little bit. It's this part that's off. The jawline kind of goes here and then here. I can't tell. I think he kind of has mutton chops, but man, whatever. I say whatever not because I don't care like about his hair, but you know, um, sometimes if I can't see what it is, then the viewer is not going to really be able to tell what's going on 100% either, unless I want to really highlight it. All right. Um, so yeah, this guy is clearly has ginger hair, and so obviously very light complexion as well. And and he does have there's a term for it, when there's a lot of like redness, in certain areas on the face. Um, I forget what it's called. There's a specific term for it. And he has a lot of that going on. And I don't want to like completely get rid of that because that's probably, I'm guessing very common for him just based off of the, you know, just based off of his complexion kind of thing. However, I know that it's one of those things that can change depending on a lot of factors. So, that just because he has it here doesn't mean he always does. So I have to, so I'm trying to take that into consideration here. Ah, jeez. Okay. Let's let's scrape some of this off. So what's happening is he is so light in some areas, especially where like the light source is like right on him, that when I'm putting down my colors, it's actually hard for me to get the lightness um, that's there because of the paint that's already on the canvas. In theory, I could load up with a lot of white and I could overpower it. However, scraping it off is easier than trying to overpower it in this moment. One of the big advantages of working with oils and wet into wet. You need to just scrape off the paint. Space says, I'm still here, just not typing much. It's late. Hey, no worries. And you are welcome to, you know, to lurk and just hang out. And of course, you're also welcome to type and participate as much as you want. Uh, but yeah, no worries. Uh, if you don't mind me asking, and feel free to not say, what country are you in? I'm just curious, since you said it's late, I'm assuming you're overseas somewhere. Um, I'm in Austin, Texas, if anyone's curious. And if you're in Austin, Texas, come by Round Rock Art Center. Wait, it's the Community Art Center, I think, in Austin, in the Round Rock on Saturday. So yeah, you're Scottish. Oh, nice. I will not offend you and try and do a Scottish accent because I cannot. Uh, at least not one that isn't offensive. Des asks if Space shares her drawings anywhere, and Space says, "No, I don't." No worries. I don't get offended. Haha. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's more for my own dignity that I'm not going to do it, if I'm being honest. Less for the offense because I just figure generally you'll just laugh at me, which is, you know, is fine. I just don't do accents, honestly. I'm just joking around. I can't do accents, so I'm just kidding around for the most part. I think if I tried, I might sound like you know, um that bastard from Austin Powers. Uh, I think that's probably how it ended up coming out, honestly. If you hear a commotion in the background, that is my dog being super excited that Michelle got home. Hello. Michelle says hello to everyone. Are you going to be on camera? Okay. Michelle. Hmm? Mm-hmm. Michelle says hi. Wizard is eating a pup cup. Yeah. I should be done soonish. Yeah. Des says hi. Mm-hmm. Hopefully this doesn't sound horrible to everybody. I apologize if it does. I can't tell what my mic is picking up or isn't picking up. Well, I have what's it called? Noise suppressors on, so it's supposed to stop like random sounds, but it can make it act a little weird, like some things will come through and some things won't. And so you get it can sound a little, like choppy and weird for
It's very Facebooky.
don't know what that means, but
It looks
it's
like a Facebook profile photo.
okay. It's
It's Zuckerberg.
oh, I get no.
Like right now, it could be Zuckerberg.
I get what you're saying. Um, this is a portrait for the charity that Des is doing.
Oh, awesome. You started it.
Yep.
I'm trying to see how you read from here because I can't read I see Des where she says hi, Michelle,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very hard to read. Like I have to squint.
Yeah, because it's like 3 feet away from
Well,
me.
why don't you make it larger?
Because if I make it larger, it enlarges the window where the other like it doesn't just enlarge the chat window, it enlarges all my other windows. So when I go to watch to see like in my YouTube in the window that um that that monitors the stream, it enlarges that one too, and then I can't see anything in it. Like it enlarges it so much that nothing is I can't see any of the things on stream. So like here, um, This is like, as it is, it enlarged it, and I can't tell the stream health and everything like that.
Can you move your computer a little closer then? Like the thing? Because it's hard to read.
Uh, in theory, it's just complicated.
Who's Space? Hi, Space.
Space is new. This is first time here. They're a
Scottish person.
yes, who likes to draw dragons.
As every Scottish person should. I don't know how I started turning into Sean Connery.
I mean, I don't know.
Although, if you're gonna draw dragons, you should also draw unicorns. And when you do draw one, please send one to me. Thank you very much.
Michelle loves unicorns.
You can't see any tattoos, but I have 3 horse-related equine.
Spam. That's spam. Yep.
I thought you had a thing to take care of that.
Yes.
Why is it not taking care of it?
Because it's not that good.
Oh. That's what I get to do all day is moderate people. And when they break the law, I get to red flag them. And if they get 3 red flags, they get banned for 30 days.
Okay.
It's exciting.
Don't give out any more information, but sure.
Oh, I'm not going to.
Yeah. But yeah, YouTube moderation's way more what's it called?
Space is drawing a unicorn.
Oh, nice.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, share it in the either send it to me directly or share it in the Discord and I'll share it with her.
I'm on the Discord. I just don't ever pop on there because I don't.
Yeah, Space just doesn't share. You can tag her in the Discord, but Space doesn't share their work. So if they don't feel like sharing it with the whole Discord, that's fine.
There's a Dawn in the group now. Hi, Dawn.
Yeah, Donley's here. Space is asking if you have favorite colors.
Teal, pink, purple. So basically think of like every 13-year-old girl's favorite color, like pink, purple, teal, and you've got it. Add a little bit of yellow and orange for color, just for extra
Just think
oomph.
very colorful rainbow.
Rainbow is my favorite thing. I have rainbows everywhere.
But don't feel obligated. You know, you can do whatever you
He's
want.
gonna tell you not to feel obligated. I'm gonna tell you to feel obligated. Absolutely feel like you have to do that.
Donley says, I was on a phone call, so I missed what you guys were talking about earlier. It's hard for me to say how much earlier. We were talking about how it's hard to read my stream chat because it's so far away.
What's the DC? What's the DC mean?
What's the DC? And
I think they're talking about the unicorn painting, drawing, whatever. But I don't know what the DC is.
I don't.
We're old.
Discord.
Oh.
I mean, Des shared it already, but we can.
Do you have
we can
share?
share.
That I can share real quick on your
No.
Oh, okay.
I am not that organized for stream.
Oh, if you're on the stream, if you are on YouTube, if you click on the little comment, there is a link to the Discord channel.
They're not on my YouTube. They're on that is not YouTube. That's
okay. We'll go
Twitch.
to the other platform.
Des took care of it. Des took care of it.
Thank you, Des.
Yeah, Des is very helpful.
I think you're gonna need to pay Des. Oh wait, you already are in a painting that you're sending her.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really good. I like the purple.
Thank you.
I need to stop moving. I'm making your camera back and forth. I'm sorry.
Oh well, it's trying to track the faces.
It wasn't just doing this. I was.
Des has no, I know. Des has been modding for years, she says. And yeah, Des has been a moderator for me for a long time. Luckily, modding for me is generally pretty easy, I think. Half the time it's like not much going on. Yeah.
Bye, Dawn.
Bye, Donley. Have a great rest of your weekend.
I like having the power of moderating, but I don't fully want the responsibility. In my new job, I'm going to be babysitting a lot, like hand holding between customers and other customers. So sometimes
Alrighty.
moderating, woot woot.
Let's see. All right. I think I'm gonna be ending stream now, because it's been like 2 hours and I still have a bunch of stuff to do. Obviously, I still have to keep working on this painting, but sometimes it's good to take a break. And yeah, it's been like 2 hours. So I think I'm gonna bring stream to a close.
Sorry, it was a book.
That's fine. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a day for today. That makes sense. Repetitive, but makes sense. Yeah. Um, yeah, I would say check out my website, my Discord, and my YouTube channel. And yeah, everything is like if you just spell my first name and you'll find me. Uh, there should be links below, but in case they're not, I have to check if they're updated. I haven't I haven't updated my Twitch for the longest time. I couldn't even log into Twitch. They were being stupid. So I haven't dealt with Twitch for a while. So yeah. But yeah, I stream on Sundays and Wednesdays, by the way. Sundays and Wednesdays, and yeah. Um, that's about it. I'm gonna, say goodnight to everybody. Have a great weekend. Have a great, you know, rest of your weekend for what's left. And I'll be back on Wednesday. That's it. I'm clearly my brain's not working much anymore. Have a good one, everyone. See you guys soon. Yeah. And thanks, Des, for all your help. I appreciate it. All right. And yeah, my website is leod.com. All my links should be there. Um, Actually, I have a page for links. I should share that anyways. Uh, I really need to take care of my Twitch page so that people can find me. Hold on, I'm finding my link page. There we go. Yay, my links page. All right. Have a good one, everybody. And we'll be back on Wednesday. Bye.